Establish connection. Oh, there we go. Now it's working.
Coming to you live from a top-secret quarantine subterranean vault, it's Streamin' the Steam with John Sprocket.
I used to travel the land, playing steam-powered songs with my band. But for the time it seems I've been quarantined, so now I'm just streaming the steam coming through your broadband.
Streamin' the Steam is broadcast to a live audience.
Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is John Sprocket, and this is Streaming the Steam. Welcome to episode number 10. Already in the double digits, if you can believe that. Today is Thursday, June 18th, 2020, and I am still here in quarantine. After 10 weeks of doing this show, it's been a crazy time. I hope you're all doing well, staying home, staying safe, or staying as safe as you can if you're going back to work, wearing the proper protective gear and everything to keep yourself protected from this horrible pandemic. So, everyone, today's episode is pre-recorded simply because I have been insanely busy trying to finish up episode number 3 of Socially Distanced Cinema, which to my knowledge is the final episode, which is kind of sad because I love working on these, but at the same time I've been working on them for 3 months straight and desperately need time to work on other things. So, anyway, today I pre-recorded the show so that I could work on animating the cartoon and getting it done because ideally it will be out next week. So anyway, the show is still continuing on as always because I want to keep going and bring you a weekly show. I'll be playing a little bit of music as always. I've got a special guest from a troupe that we've performed with in Florida called Phantasmagoria, as well as another comedic parody video to show you all that in some way I had a small involvement in. If you look closely, no, you don't have to look closely. I'm on screen pretty apparently. Well, I have to say, I've already got my guitar on because, you know what, I'm wearing a men's corset vest, and I don't know why I chose to wear something that is like this while sitting, because it's definitely the straightest upright I have sat the entire series, for sure, because, you know, it's laced up in the back, and it's got steel boning all throughout it to really hold everything in, and I do like the way it looks, but Definitely keeps your posture in check, for sure. This is the same corset vest that I wore in the video for Another Cog in the Machine back in, what year was that, 2015, 2016? I think it was 2016, I'm not sure. But filmed out in Wild Wild West Con in Arizona. Anyway, speaking of the Wild West, let's start things off with a song about a legendary hero out in the West who came into town to save everyone. This is the Iron Horseman. Da 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 da. Come on, da 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 da. In this world there is evil, murderers and thieves, reprehensible scoundrels doing anything they please. And though these villains are heartless and they show no remorse, out to the west is a hero on his giant iron horse. He rides valiantly through the desert, and he fights corruption everywhere. At night, in a blaze of glory, he comes into town and he takes them down, then rides off into the cold night air. He is a cries of the helpless and rushes in with force. Fiends may try, but they can't run in this massive iron horse. So though you think that you're done for and you haven't got a prayer, give a shout or a whistle and the horseman will be there. He rides valiantly through the desert and he fights corruption everywhere. At night, in a blaze of glory, he comes into town and he takes them down, then rides off into the cold night air. Ooh, oh, ah, oh, 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 Don't cry, everything's going to be just fine. Your plight is soon to be removed. Tonight you can sleep with peace of mind. 'Cause he'll come along and he'll right the wrong that's been going on for you. He rides valiantly through the desert and he fights corruption everywhere. At night, in a blaze of glory, he comes into town and he takes them down. All the low-life scum will be on the run. He corrects their course on his iron horse, and then he rides. Thank you so much. I don't normally leave the sunglasses on while performing, but you know what? I'm liking the way that these are looking with this outfit. I know I've got goggles too. I can have sunglasses and goggles. There's nothing wrong with that. Steampunk is what you make it. So, I'll take these off just for a moment to be a little more personable. We have been in quarantine for a while, and the world is facing a pandemic, and it made me think about this comedy short film that I was in, that And You Films produced, that in an odd way, I guess, kind of relates. The parody itself is a bit goofier than the film that it's parodying, but it's a parody of the film Bird Box, which took place when the entire world was basically under threat from this invisible danger, which sounds an awful lot like what's going on with COVID-19, doesn't it? So, I hope you enjoy this week's parody short from And You Films. Well, I won't say the title. I'll just let you watch the video and figure it out. Here it is.
From the producers who served coffee on the set of A Quiet Place.
You make a noise, you die.
And the director of an unfinished fan film of Bird Box.
If you look, you die.
And the writer of an online recap of that one episode of Doctor Who.
If you blink, you die.
Comes the latest, most nail-biting, do a thing and you die movie yet.
So keep your windows covered, wear blindfolds whenever you can, and whatever you do, don't play Angry Birds.
I wasn't playing, were you?
Of course not. Greg?
Greg! Greg, don't!
It's the endgame, man. Humanity's been judged and found wanting.
Judged by who?
The birds. We stole the eggs. It was us the whole time.
What?
As the situation worsens, many gamers find themselves quitting phone use altogether.
Why don't we just gather all the phones and bury them in the backyard?
Oh, come on. We use our phones for other things. We don't need to play delightfully addictive, microtransaction-heavy puzzle games. Do you think we're simpletons?
I don't know how we're supposed to live this way. My life's just refilled.
Olympia.
I'm so close to getting a new hat for the yellow bird. Stop! I'm not strong like you!
No. No!
It seems some players are finding it harder and harder to resist this unique but deadly opportunity to claim top spot on the Angry Birds leaderboard.
I got the high score! Not anymore!
Even this reporter has risked a round or two, but so far,
Look! Look!
No!
It's beautiful.
Be free, birds.
They're angry!
Yep. There was a time when I was hopeful, but now my dreams are dust. And so I stand alone and slowly rust. Oh, I am a tin man, rusting in the snow. I'm out of luck, 'cause now I'm stuck. There's nowhere I can go. Once I was mobile, free to run about, but these years of unrequited love have filled my soul with doubt. As I stand here frozen, tears freeze before they start. But along to someday find my missing heart. Oh, I am a tin man, dreaming of a true love. I'm doing time, but I've done no crime. The one whom life has snubbed. Yes, I am a tin man, and I'm here rusting in the snow. But who do I see on the horizon? Is that a woman? Well, bless my soul. As she comes to me and she touches my hand, for the first time in a while, I'm able to smile while she's my oil can. I am a tin man with a brand new fresh start. To think I could meet one to make me complete and help me find Thank you. And that was Tin Man from the album Carnival of Clockwork. Speaking of albums, I mentioned not too long ago that the new surprise album Sprocket Man was coming out soon. This album right here. I am delighted to say, now I know it still says coming soon. I didn't change the graphic from the last time I put it up, but the album is out now. It is on Spotify and iTunes, and for some reason not yet on Amazon. I don't know what's going on there, but pretty much everywhere else. So, if you would like to get Sprocket Man, you can stream it from any of those music services or download it from iTunes, Spotify, and lots of other places. So, I just wanted to mention that. And, of course, as always, if you would like to show support, whether it's through merchandise or becoming a patron or many other things, there are various ways to do that. You can, of course... Oh, where is that button? It's been a while since I've done this. So... you can, of course, leave a tip, as a little thing up here says, at cogisdead.com/tips, and just leave a tip if you're enjoying the show and to show some support. If you would like to offer monthly support on Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/thecogisdead. Now, if you go to Patreon for as little as $1 a month, you can access the entire patron feed. There are various tiers as well that unlock higher levels of things, including guitar tutorial videos, but you will get early access to every song and video from The Cog is Dead before it's released publicly. In fact, there's another one coming out very, very soon that I think a lot of you will enjoy. If you want access to it early, go on Patreon. Otherwise, you'll have to wait till sometime in mid-July. So that's how it works. Of course, merchandise is always available at Teespring, stores/The Cog is Dead, with t-shirts and socks and backpacks and all of this good stuff, as you can see right here. Teespring.com/stores/The Cog is Dead. Buy all the merchandising you want, including coffee mugs. Looks a lot like the one in the photo, doesn't it? Very similar. It's the same one. Well, not the exact same one. That's a photo of a example. This is the real thing. As you can see, the merchandise looks pretty spot on, doesn't it? I'm sorry, I'm rambling because I don't know why. I had a bit of a brain fart. And lastly, of course, tips. Oh, I already said that. I don't know why I put it on there twice. It's up here and it's down here. Anyway, yes, as you know, we're in quarantine still. Definitely can't go out and play gigs right now, so your support is very, very much appreciated in helping the music keep going, helping me keep the lights on in the studio, and keep making music. All right, so I think it's time for this week's out-of-character interview. Now, this next guest is someone that we first met back in 2014, I want to say, in Central Florida, performing at Renninger's Steampunk Industrial Show down in Mount Dora. And since then, we have crossed paths at various events, and they even performed at our the concert film that we did. And I have to say, I'm extremely thankful to them for helping out, because this man in the interview helped to bring in not just the entire troupe to perform, but stagehands and technical directors and a lighting, like spotlight operators, and just really helped to bring the production value up on the show tremendously. So that show would not be what it is without him, which, by the way, is available on DVD and Blu-ray from Amazon, or for free to watch right here on this YouTube channel. That's The Cog is Dead, live at the Athens Theater concert film. Anyway, I digest. The interview is with this man, Lord Byron of Phantasmagoria, and I think you're going to enjoy this little chat I have with this delightful individual. So, here we go. Take it away, Out of Character Interview. Well, joining me today on the Out of Character Interview is someone from an amazing Victorian horror theater troupe who's pretty much like something straight out of a story by Edgar Allan Poe. Their show involves fire and theatrics and dance and all sorts of things, and they actually performed with The Cog is Dead at this show right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome to Streaming the Steam from Phantasmagoria, Lord Byron.
Oh my, where are you? This is like What kind of fiendish magic is this, Sprocket?
It's the future. I'm broadcasting. Of course, I'm trapped in a subterranean lair myself, so it's an interesting time for everyone.
Yes, it is indeed, my friend. How can I help you today, dear sir?
Well, it's a pleasure to see you again. I'm glad you're still doing well, even in a pandemic. And for those in the audience, why don't you describe what Phantasmagoria is and what you do?
Well, what we do, now that's a little personal and private. We won't go there. But what Phantasmagoria is just as the wonderful John Sprocket said, we are a Victorian horror troupe. We are in our 11th year of production. We do live events. We do online now, whatever online actually means. And we perform 12 months out of the year doing tales of terror, haunted poetry, huge main stage shows, small side shows, performances at conventions, etc., etc.
Very cool. I've seen your show. It's really fun. It's really you're a large troupe as well, which I imagine right now might make things a little bit difficult because up until now you had so many people on stage together, and these days everyone has to stay apart. So how are you all still carrying on as a large theater troupe in a time where people have to socially distance?
Well, John, there are these incredible magical wizards tools lately. They're called Zoom and things like that. So we're able to stay together and perform. Just last week, we performed at the Orlando Fringe. They were having an online Fringe festival, and 17 of us performed together in this Zoom thing where we're in these little boxes. It was wonderful and it was entertaining. We also do Facebook Live performances. This weekend, we actually have a guest artist coming over with us, Mechanism, who will be performing with us here in the house itself. So we're able to reach out, and actually what it's done is it's brought together our members from all over the country. Because when we performed for CyberCon, for example, we had members from St. Louis, Missouri, performing with us down here. And coming up to do some of these Zooms, we'll have people from New York and St. Louis and Georgia and all other places performing live with us. It will be wonderful.
That's fantastic. That is one amazing thing about this technology, is that people from all over the place can get together. So even though you can't be together with everyone locally, you can actually have a much larger group from all over the world.
Oh,
that's fascinating.
And that's the audience as well. It's really, on Sunday evenings, we perform every Sunday at 8 p.m. EST. We learned very quickly we had to say 8 p.m. EST because there are people all over the world watching us.
Yes, and I know you've been trying to do double features here and there. In fact, when I did the first pilot episode of this show, I got to do it as a test on Facebook as a double feature with your Sunday night stream, which was a blast.
Absolutely. You were our first guest.
Oh, wow.
John and Cog is Dead. We had belly dancers after that, Serafina. Nathaniel Johnstone did a double feature with us just recently. And this is our first time where instead of it being a double feature, the musical artist is actually coming here. We're going to do all that socially distant stuff and keep them in their own room and their own set that they'll be broadcasting from. It will be very interesting.
Wow, well, that sounds exciting. So I'm glad you're all doing well and able to still continue and perform. And it's interesting how this seems to have made us all busy, even though we can't get together. I know I found myself way busier than I think under normal circumstances because I'm doing this show now, and there's just so much to do, even though we're not together in person. There's always a way to find a creative spark, no matter what situation you're in.
The workload has tripled.
Yes.
We've gone into this, this evening. Well, it's probably not your evening because when you broadcast this, it's in the future and we're in the past at that point. Yes. But tonight we're having a meeting with about 70 of our members online.
Wow.
On this Zoom thing. So we can talk about all of our plans for filming and live performances. If we're allowed to go back to live performances, that will be wonderful. So we're talking about all of that and the precautions we need to take during the plague and see how we move forward.
Wow. Well, it's been great to see you. And before we go, would you like to tell everyone either how they can support you or just where they can find your show and watch?
Oh, absolutely. Well, visit us on the Book of Face, which a lot of you know as Facebook. Yes, it is www.facebook.com facebook.com/ething Phantasmagoria Orlando. You can follow us right there. That's where we do our Sunday night 8 p.m. EST performances from. Every Sunday night, come join us there on the Living Book of Face, as we like to call it. And stay tuned, because we're going to be announcing a lot of Zoom performances that are upcoming, as well as our plans for fall and winter with our tours, whether those tours are going to be live or this thing called streaming. We will soon discover.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you're still continuing on and doing well. And everyone, be sure to go to Phantasmagoria's Facebook page, watch the videos and the live streams, and support this amazing troupe. So, Lord Byron, it's been a pleasure to see you again, and hopefully we will see each other in person again one of these days.
Very soon, John. It's been too long.
Way
and
too
I would
long.
Enjoy that. Let's perform together again very soon.
Absolutely. Well, until then, stay safe, stay well, and continue performing.
Same to you, friend.
See you later. Yes, oh, my goodness. Where's the switch? Big thank you to Lord Byron. Oh, here we go. Boom. Okay, sorry about that. Just totally lost all vision for a moment. Hello! Thank you to Lord Byron for joining me today on Streaming the Steam. Truly fantastic performers with the fire dancing and fire breathing and lots of other things. If you get a chance to check out The Cog is Dead live at the Athens Theatre, which is on YouTube and whatnot, you will see some of their performances. They joined us on the song Danger on the Dance Floor, where they actually did an entire choreographed, not just a dance, but a whole theatrical performance telling the story of the song as we played it live. They joined us for Freak Show, where they did the same thing and acted out the story from Freak Show. And Carnival of Clockwork, of course, we had to have them. And we even had Lord Byron himself. Actually, we had to redub the voice of the puppet later on, but in the live show, he was the puppet who you see. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the film. I think you'll really enjoy it. We had this puppet up in the balcony, and well, just check it out so you can see it for yourself. Anyway, I think it's just about time to play one more song before moving on. So, let me get these shades back on one more time. I've been wearing them for the other songs, and this one really feels like it needs a little attitude. It's a song about a cowboy, but a cowboy in space. It works better live when I can actually turn on the reverb for that. And I'll try something a little different with this. This is something I had thought about doing originally when I was going to start playing some solo shows this year. I was thinking about jazzing it up a little bit and goofing around, I don't know, just giving the song a slightly different feel for the live shows. So I'm going to try that now. Who knows how it'll go? I've only done this like a couple of times, and I have not practiced nearly as much as I should because it's quarantine and I've been busy and haven't had time to do shows. But that's all right. And by the way, speaking of shows, I will be doing a full live stream concert at some point very soon, maybe next month. I've been so busy. It's so crazy, I thought I'd have all this time, and I'm busier than I've ever been. That's how it goes when you're, an artist and musician working from a home studio, and you have connection to the internet and can have the work keep coming in. It never stops. Not that I'm complaining. It's just, trying to balance your time. Anyway, let's move on. Here's this sort of jazzier version of the Space Cowboy. Watch him as he sails out across the stars, a bottle full of whiskey and a big cigar. There ain't nowhere that he calls home. Space is the only place he's gonna roam. He looks across the sky, knows he'll be out there until the day he dies. The hunt is his only joy. It's a lonely life for the space cowboy. Oh, yeah. space cowboy. Well, he saw two stars in his rusted machine, flying through space just to letting off steam. Using any means he can, he ain't gonna stop till he gets his man. Watching with precision and skill as he takes them in without a kill. The only way to enjoy it's the life of the space cowboy. Woo! The space cowboy. All right, let's try this solo. I know that was clunky, but I'm funky. I don't know what I'm doing, don't mind me. And as he wanders toward the night, he's blinded. Actually, how does I'm throwing myself off. Da-da, toward the night, he's by himself, and that's all right. Let's try that again. And as he wanders through the night, he's by himself, and that's alright. He don't need nobody else to hold him tight. He just travels toward that next town's glowing light. He's alright, the space cowboy. Space cowboy. Oh yeah, a space cowboy. Ooh. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, just been playing around with it. Definitely did not nail it. Didn't get it perfect, but with some work, maybe that will work. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me once again on Streaming the Steam. It's been a pleasure. I will be back live, ideally next week, because that cartoon should be done by then. But until then, thanks so much for joining me. See you next time when my guest will be Marquise of Vaudeville. I think you're really going to enjoy them. They're a fantastic band based out of Texas. And until then, I've got to get back to work on animation. So, see you next week. Good night, everybody.